Education is something that cannot be stolen, cannot be taxed. The more you spend, the more it becomes, the more you share, the more it expands.
Put us in a place where we have no idea what's going to happen.
We're telling kids to go to college, to find a good job.
But I never had stepped back and said, what are they doing?
The surprising truth about learning in school.
Are you proud of the things you've done? Turning millions of people into robots.
You get to decide what they learn and don't learn. You get to decide how they see the world. You get to condition them to be scared, to be fearful, to be obedient.
None of them were valedictorian.
A toxic culture of education.
That learning was a chore.
I disagree with the statement that school has all of us trapped in some sort of education prison. It's the biggest misconception you can fall for. I may have a small channel, but my motives are big and strong enough to challenge this. Right now, my motives wants to make one thing clear. It's our elders' fault and their lack of awareness that schools are meant for learning, not for upbringing. Schools were never designed to teach anything revolutionary. They were built to mold young minds in the most average way of life. The goal was to ensure that every student would fit into the society's mold. But today, we live in the age of AI, and guess what? Young minds are still learning about ENIAC, a computer which was built in the 20th century. Think about that. Every child is a born star, brimming with talent, but schools, they mold them into circles, making them fit neatly into the society. Look at the story of Gillian Lane.
After struggling at school for quite some time, Gillian's mother decided to take her to a clinic to find out what was happening. Suspecting what was going on, the doctor had a quick idea to check it out. He turned the radio on and left Gillian alone so he could talk to her mother in private. Just a few seconds later, they would find young Gillian was moving to the sound of music. The answer was very simple. That child was born to dance. Not too later on, she would become a Western hit, acclaimed for her work as a dancer in many shows.
Now, how do we expect children, just 5 to 6 year old, to know what they want to be when they grow up?
A person who helps in charities.
Paleontologist, mines for dinosaur bones and studies them.
By their teens, suddenly, the answer changes to
a doctor, be an engineer, be a scientist.
The point is how a teacher can either make a child or break a child. If a teacher sticks to one rigid plan, catering only what's easiest for them to teach, how can we expect children who have completely different perspectives to learn? When a teacher asks a question in class, out of 10 students, only 3 answer. Why? Because the rest know that only one correct answer will be rewarded. Their unique thoughts and ideas doesn't matter. Innovation is censored. Conformity is awarded. We are creating a generation of fact masters, not creative thinkers. There's something called one problem, one answer syndrome. This means for any problem, there's only one solution. Well, imagine a teacher asks a question, how do we cross the river? One student might say, build a bridge. Sure, that's one answer. But what about using a boat? Or swimming across? Or walking around? The one problem, one answer mindset says, building the bridge is the only option, even though many other solutions exist.
Over just these 5 to 6 years in the education system, these creative children have turned into these teenagers that are unwilling to think outside of the box.
People often blame schools entirely for this conformity, but the truth is, schools only should be blamed halfway. Why? Because schools are designed to mold young minds into future employees. Oh. Because schools are molding young minds into becoming 50% of the time, and the other 50%, they are laying foundation of child's necessary education. Necessary education. Whatever the path they may be. Now, after all the negativity, let's see the bright side and the best solutions. Let's look at Chloe and Isaac, two students who pursued their passion projects with guidance from their teacher, Aaron Warner. Warner introduced the concept of Genius Hour, a practice inspired by Google's 20% time, allowing students to explore their interests for 2 hours a week. At first, students struggled with the freedom, but over time, their ideas grew more ambitious. Genius Hour didn't just foster creativity, it boosted confidence and engagement. Warner believes this approach prepares students for the future where creativity will be essential, as many future jobs don't even exist yet. Inspired by Sir Ken Robinson's TED Talk,
Is that we've all agreed, nonetheless, on the really extraordinary capacities that children have, their capacities for innovation.
Warner pushes the belief that creativity should be valued at literacy in today's education system. Freedom to explore is something schools love to claim they provide. They say their curriculum promotes critical thinking and problem solving, but in reality, where is it? As Robert Sternberg beautifully cites, creativity is a habit. The problem is that schools treat it as a bad habit. Like any habit, creativity can either be encouraged or discouraged. If the teacher decides to not stand in front of the students and sit or stand beside the students, then no one will be deprived of the attention and interactive lesson they deserve so much. If schools were to defy the rigid systems and teach what is truly best for students, not what fits into the neat little boxes, the world would be a better place. Share this video to every education enthusiast and I'll do the rest. Don't forget to subscribe.